Hey, what's good, gang? Today I'm going to teach you the basics of using a scene inspector in Resonite. To start out, you're going to want a dev tool. To get that, you can go into your inventory on the dashboard, go to the Resonite Essentials folder that every new account has, go to Tools, and the first tool on the left is going to be the dev tool. Double click it and it'll spawn out. Next, you're going to grab the dev tool, it'll be in your hand, open your context menu, and click Equip. This way, you can let go and still hold it. While you're holding a dev tool, you'll get a bunch of extra menu options on your context menu. First, you've got the Create New option. When you click that, it'll spawn out this panel where you can choose to create a new 3D model, collider, editor, light, material, object, text, empty object, or a particle system. Next up is the Open Inspector button. When you click this button, an inspector like this will spawn out. The single button lets you choose between selecting one item at a time and selecting multiple items at a time. Deselect all deselects all the slots that all users have selected. And then there's Destroy Selected, which will destroy your currently selected slot. When you open an inspector, it'll take you to the root of the world. If you open an inspector with something selected, it'll open that slot in the inspector. For this demonstration, I've created these slots here. We're going to start off by learning slot hierarchy and how to navigate it. First things first, to select a slot, you double click it, and it gets highlighted. If a slot is a parent to another slot, it'll have this icon next to it that's a triangle. If it's pointing right, that means that the slot is closed. If it's pointing down, that means the slot is opened. You can open it by just clicking it. If a slot has no children, it just has a circle. Something helpful for navigating hierarchy is using these three buttons here. What these do is, first off, this one is set root. If you've got a slot selected, click set root and it focuses on that slot. Next up is this button. This will take you up one slot and this will take you to the root. The check mark next to a slot indicates its active field. If it's checked, it's active. If it's unchecked, it's inactive. While a slot is disabled, it basically doesn't exist, and that applies to all of its children slots. To move a slot, simply grab it, hold it over to another slot, and let go, and it drops the slot in there. If you want to destroy a slot, you can just double click it to select it, and then click one of these two icons here, the trash can or the recycling, and it'll get destroyed. If you want to duplicate a slot, you can double click it to select it, and then press this button right here to duplicate it. Duplicated slots also duplicate their children. Moving parent slots also moves their children. You can give a slot a parent slot by double clicking to select it and then pressing this button right here. You can also double click a slot and press this button to give it a child. For this next part, we're going to focus more on the right side of the panel. This is a slot's contents. This is basically what makes slots do what they do. An empty slot is just a 3D point in space. That's all it is. That's why it has position, rotation, and scale, because it's just a point in space. And every slot comes with a few basic things that are really helpful to know when you're working in an inspector. First off, you've got the name field, and this is just where you can name the slot, and it'll show that name in the hierarchy. Next to those are these null buttons. Null buttons clear the data in a field. So if I click this, that slot no longer has a name. Next, you've got position, rotation, and scale, and they've each got 3 numbers. These things define where your point is in 3D space. As you can see, when I move this slot around, its position changes. I can go into my context menu, open gizmo options, and select rotation. Now I can change the rotation of this slot. And finally, I can go into gizmo options again, go to scale, and I can change the scale of this slot. The next buttons you'll find helpful are the resets. They reset the position, rotation, and scale of a slot. So as you can see, I fucked this one all up. Reset the position, 0, 0, 0. Reset the rotation, 0, 0, 0. Reset the scale, 1, 1, 1. Finally, at the bottom, you've got Attach Component. When you click Attach Component, you'll get this submenu, and this is where you can attach components to the slot. Components are basically the things that make slots do work. With components, you can move an object, you can make it spin, you can change its color, it can do all sorts of things. It can hold textures. Slots are things. Or more technically, slots are full of components. That's how they make things work. Anyway, that should be most of what you need to use an inspector on a basic level. With this, you can start to do more avatar setup, changing the textures on models, making basic 3D shapes. A lot of stuff can be done with just these basic tools. If this video helped you out, please give it a like. If someone you know is needing some help learning how to use an inspector in Resonite, send them this video, and have a wonderful day. Getting my shit set up.